back on the First Bet DRF Pegasus Cup preview show, and we got to give some love to our friends over at First Bet. Alexa, you and I are going to be doing some work with them this weekend. We're going to be wagering ambassadors out on the track, helping people put some wagers together. Hopefully, we're leading them in the right direction, and we're good ambassadors. But First Bet has done a great job getting a big day of racing ready. Make sure you can head on over there if you want to make some wagers as well. We bring in our next guest. I'm very excited to talk to her about the Pegasus World Cup Turf. I actually had the chance to talk with Samantha Perry a couple years ago before she became a big deal, and now we see her on the Gulfstream Park feed previewing every race, doing a great job. She's also the #1 Oklahoma City Thunders fan, and they are awesome right now. Shout out to Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So, Samantha, how's everything going on your end?
Hey, it's going great. It's good to be here. Good to see everybody. And I'm glad that next to horse racing, it's OKC Thunder, like the hyphen next to my name.
Yeah, I'm excited right now because I just came off of a big Laker win against the Celtics. So I'm still feeling really good.
Good for you.
But we have a lot of ground to cover here, and we have a really big race to discuss. It's the Pegasus World Cup Turf. So we're going to go horse by horse through this field, and we're going to pick Samantha's brain a little bit. We'll scratch the 1 Siege of Boston. Not going to run, so that will make the 13 Fort Washington. That will bring that one into the field. Formidable Man is the 2, going to face older horses for the first time, but what he has is kind of a tactical speed advantage on probably a lot of these horses down on the inside. So don't be surprised to see this horse outrun his odds or maybe hit the board at a very fair price. We have the #3, Mi Hermano Ramon. He's a Grade 2 winner. And he was second last time out behind Johannes, who was one of the finalists for an Eclipse Award. And if he was in this race, he would probably be favored in there. So Mi Hermano Ramon, I think, fits off of that form. And he's in really, really nice form right now. Alexa, I'll pass it to you for the #4, Win for the Money.
Yep, Win for the Money, 12-1 morning line odds. Won the Grade 1 Wood by Mile with a super fast speed figure. Second only to Nation's Pride in here with that fast figure. Earned him a spot in the Breeders' Cup Mile. He got last place. So that distance might have been a touch long for him. But when he shows up, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Samantha, the #5 Integration was actually favored in this race last year, but feels like he's been around for longer than he is. I keep looking back. He's only run 10 times, but he's been a real mainstay the last couple years in big races, and he feels like it's a really good spot for him again.
Yeah, it does. And I feel like he's maybe slightly a better horse than he was last year coming into this Pegasus World Cup Turf for sure. And he's got that confidence coming off of the win at the Aqueduct meet, which is a good sign coming into this race. And when you get Frankie Dettori in the saddle, you know you're going to get a textbook ride.
The #6 Major Dude, Samantha, has like a real good running style, and I think that's one of his major advantages, right? He always can put himself in the race where he's not right on the lead, but he kind of sits in that next tier right behind the leaders, and he can get the jump on some of the deeper closers. He's just a fun horse to use because of that versatility.
Yeah, he is. And he is such a dude as well. And I caught up with trainer Todd Pletcher about him, and, they're happy with the way he's coming into this race. Of course, you have to be coming into a Grade 1 event, but those 2 wins and at least the Grade 2 Fort Lauderdale win last time out, I think they put him on a good confidence boost coming into this race. He's obviously familiar with the track. He's familiar with the surroundings, and that gives you, I feel like, a little bit of a tactical edge on some of these.
Alexa, let's move to you for Nation's Pride.
Yeah, morning line favorite, 2-1 odds for Charles Appleby and William Buick. Won the Arlington Million this summer, has the fastest lifetime speed figures of anybody in here, and puts those up pretty consistently. I actually don't think he's a lock in here, but I don't think you can leave him off your tickets.
But you do like the horse right next door a little bit at a price.
Did you know I was born and raised in St. Louis?
Wow, okay.
18 years in St. Louis, yes. So Spirit of St. Louis.
Runs right through you, the Spirit of St. Louis.
Runs right through me. And a great horse. Won 9 of 13 races, got second in 3 others. Now, this is absolutely the most difficult ever have tried. Almost all races have been against New York breds, but he was only about a length and a half behind more than looks in the Grade 1 Turf Mile, 2 back, who went on to win pretty big races. So I think you have to include this horse at the odds. 20-1 morning line.
So the #9 Balnikov, Alexa, what I know about him, because in Southern California. I'm watching these races quite often. He hates Santa Anita. If you talk to his trainer, his owner, his connections, he does not like Santa Anita. And for a horse who's out here on the West Coast, they run at Santa Anita like 7 months of the year. So that's not great. But he has 9 races at Santa Anita. He's only run second twice. In the 13 races he has everywhere else in North America, 4 wins, 3 seconds, 4 thirds, and a troubled 8th. So he is just way better outside of Santa Anita.
He needs to move.
Right? I know.
That's what they're doing.
Move, yeah.
Really, they should relocate, because when you see him show up elsewhere, he just is so much more competitive in those spots. Samantha, we both like Battle of Normandy as a horse who I think could outrun their odds in here. There's not that much speed. He's really sharp. This feels like a Shug type horse too. He's such a patient trainer.
He really is. And how can you leave off a horse that has won 4 races in a row? And even if maybe the figures seem a little bit slower than some of the others on paper, when a horse wins 4 races in a row, and this is a race, if you're spreading at least for sure, he's got confidence coming in here. You mentioned that about Shug. He points for big days about like this, and he's won. But I'm also, maybe you guys are the same way. If a trainer has 1, 2, or 3 in a race, like I have to use all of them.
Yep.
I don't want to be beat by the other one.
And another one of his just drew in from the outside. But if you talk about Battle of Normandy a little bit more, when we're talking about his like speed figures that might be light, what I like to do is look at who the horses he faced in those races. He beat a horse named Truly Quality, who has won 3 stakes in a row, 2 graded stakes. He beat a horse named And the Winner Is, who came right back to win the Grade 3 Knickerbocker. And he beat a horse named Gigante, who has won 2 stakes races in a row at Fairgrounds. So I like horses like this who maybe his figures are a little light, but we know they might be better than they are because the horses he's defeated have come back and run really, really well. Grand Sonata, Alexa, multiple graded stakes winner here. No real excuses last time out. Was 4th though in that common race behind Major Dude and behind some of these in the Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, I mean 4th place behind 3 common opponents. That's tough. Being a closer, I think he's gonna find it. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of other strong closers, so I'm passing on Grand Sonata.
And then you want to round out the body of the field with Chasing the Crown, Alexa, and I'll get to the AE.
Sure, yeah, Chasing the Crown, 20-1, another long shot who's had some more inconsistent speed figures than normal, I think, in the past 6 months. But, he's 6 years old, so that's not totally crazy. He has ability, but again, is a closer amongst many strong closers. So I think is a cut below.
Samantha, since we did scratch the 1, that means Fort Washington draws in. And I will say, he's over his last 5. But if you just watch the Fort Lauderdale, he was really good in that race, and he was very wide. It was like I kept waiting for him to stop and to back up because he was so wide throughout, but he kept coming, he kept grinding, and he made it really close with Major Dude.
He did. He galloped out huge. And it's important to note the day of the Fort Lauderdale, the rails were at 66 feet, which makes it impossible for closers. Now, the rails are down for this race on Saturday. So I feel like that will help him a lot more. And the fact that he draws in, I think, is perfect. And he's one that you have to add because he was rolling late. Rail settings was not conducive to his running style at all. And now I think it's game time.
We've already seen him have to deal with that wide trip. So if he is caught a little bit wide from out there, at least he's had to deal with it before, and he's proved that he can show up with a pretty good effort. So we move to selections. Samantha, we'll start with you. You and I both have the 5 integration on top. So talk us through your top 4.
Yep. So integration on top for me. This is if you're playing the pick 5, pick 4, any of those types of bets. It's a spread race for me, but integration on top just due to the class of the rider and the race that he's coming off of. And then the 6, Major Dude, 2 wins in a row. At least he has a recency edge. I like that a lot. The 2 horse for Middleman, you guys mentioned it. Gino, you mentioned it earlier. He's got some speed, and I think there's no other choice but for him to kind of go from the rail draw now. And then the number 10, I think, is pretty live too. Just you have to respect the 4 wins in a row.
Samantha Perry, you're going to see her out on the broadcast at Gulfstream Park, picking winners all the time. Thank you so much, Samantha. Good luck all weekend.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Hopefully I'll see you guys out here.
We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll get into the main event, the Pegasus World Cup with Randy Moss.